Welcome to the Hollywood Scholar. I'm Jed Morgan, and the worst era in Doctor Who history is slowly coming to a close. But will it be continued in a new, twisted version of itself, or can it be redeemed? I still don't know the answer to that. Russell T Davies may be able to save this franchise, and may not be. But Screen Rant has some very interesting opinions on the rumors about how Russell T Davies may or may not do that, and rumors surrounding the 60th anniversary. And I gotta say, I peeked at them a little bit. It's quite insane takes. But let's get right into it. Matt Smith and David Tennant can't save Doctor Who. And I would agree with that statement on its own. I don't know if they can. If the writing doesn't improve, even David Tennant may not even be able to save this franchise. Chris Chibnall's era has been fixated in mythology, but the potential return of David Tennant and Matt Smith only feeds into this nostalgia obsession. There's nothing wrong with nostalgia, especially when the franchise has been so thoroughly destroyed by the last few seasons. You need to return to form a little bit, and nostalgia is a good way to do that. And it's been fixated on mythology because it's been fixated on destroying the mythology of the show, tearing it down and replacing it with some weird shade of the original. And yeah, rumors persist about Matt Smith, David Tennant returning, and it talks a lot about the 50th anniversary here, a lot about it. Doctor Who took audiences into territory previously unexplored by its 21st century incarnation, but Chris Chibnall's era soon developed a diametrically fixation on mythology. Yeah, because it wanted to destroy what had come before. So talking a little bit more about her run, The Timeless Child, Spyfall, Joe Martin, pretty much all the changes to the canon that precipitated the fans hating this era with such vehemence. The return of David Tennant and Matt Smith would only feed this nostalgia obsession. No, it would do it in a very different manner. The era in Chris Chibnall, people don't have a problem with the nostalgia, and they have a problem with them using the nostalgia to tear down what came before and build up what they want. So they're bastardizing nostalgia. The return of David Tennant and Matt Smith, if used properly, that nostalgia could be what is needed to save the show. So yeah, they're different types and they're not connected. Just talking a little bit more about Tom Baker, Matt Smith, anniversaries. There's a part here I wanted to get into. Here we go. Yeah, he's definitely the Gen Z version of Tom Baker for Gen X. Yep, absolutely. He absolutely. And would it undoubtedly boost public interest in the run-up to the 60th anniversary? Yes, David Tennant is one of the most popular doctors in history, and his return would 100% bring a lot of people back to the franchise, which is something that is very needed right now, considering the viewing numbers are the lowest they've ever been. However, Tennant fronting the anniversary special rather than Jodie Whittaker or a new doctor could inadvertently vindicate the more vocal and toxic social media commenters who feel the past 4 years have been a disaster that's best forgotten. We're toxic. We're toxic because we like what Doctor Who used to be. We liked the canon that existed. We didn't like to see it pissed all over and then mocked for crying or being distraught at the destruction of one of our favorite franchises. Yeah, bringing him back may vindicate us. Okay, is there anything wrong with that? Because it does need to be forgotten. Screen Rant. Jesus Christ, you're so wrapped up in the political narrative surrounding this role, you don't see the damage that the political narrative has done to the show that we all love so much. And it's this perspective of people like you that has made it so difficult to get out of this era. And it's what made this era possible in the first place. People like Screen Rant are the ones who got BBC to make this change. They thought, you know what? All the news sites are saying female empowerment is the next way to make money. Let's do that. And it led to this shit. And now Screen Rant is fueling even more, saying if they stop doing that, it's going to vindicate these haters. So what? BBC, you got to be about making money because you ain't making shit what the viewers are getting. So you kind of need to vindicate us because it's been a terrible era that is just, it's not about the sexism. Everyone says it's about the sexism. It is not about the sexism. It is about tearing down canon and mocking the fans for liking what came before. That is the biggest issue of the Jodie Whittaker, Chris Chibnall run. It's the fact that the Timeless Children exists is the problem. Yes, Jodie Whittaker may be a terrible doctor, and the writing around it may be terrible. When it was initially announced, I thought a female doctor could have potential, especially surrounding, I really like Missy's master, Michelle Gomez's master. I really enjoyed that, so I thought if they keep that up, there's a possibility of a good female doctor. So it was never about sexism for me. It was about what the writing did. So we're not toxic for hating the writing that has been propagated by the current regime. The potential for Matt Smith to also return as the 11th Doctor should go some way to offset this optic. Why? Why would Matt Smith offset the problematic optic, but it doesn't fix the fundamental issue? Why is David Tennant problematic and Matt Smith helps it not be problematic? I don't even get what that take is supposed to fucking mean. For a show that can go anywhere, Doctor Who is disappointingly obsessed with revisiting its past. It's got 60 years worth of past. Yeah, it's going to dip into that sometimes. It's not a big deal. And going forward isn't an issue. Russell T Davies and Stephen Moffat brought the canon forward in very interesting ways and good ways without attacking what came before. And that's the difference. Chris Chibnall had to tear down the old to make the new. His predecessors built on the old to make the new. And that's the difference here. And being obsessed with revisiting the past, it's not a big deal. And moving forward isn't a big deal as long as you respect what came before, and Chris Chibnall does not. And so to have this sort of take from Screen Rant, they're like, oh, they just like what came before, and they don't like new shit, and they're all sexist and toxic. It's like, you simplified the issue to something that it's not even. It is just a terrible take. Oh, God. Why do they keep using the brain of Morbius as an excuse? The writers have talked about the brain of Morbius. That episode, for those of you who don't know, shows Tom Baker getting in a mind meld with Morbius, and this projector shows a bunch of his history, and they're Time Lords. Their history is past, present, and future, kind of all simultaneously. So the general accepted explanation for all the faces that we saw in there that weren't known doctors was future doctors. Future interpretations of the Doctor. But Chris Chibnall's like, you know what, I'm going to burn down it, and I need a good excuse to just make up for all my shit that I'm coming up with to excuse it. And they chose the brain of Morbius. Anniversaries pay tribute to the past while committing to the future. Okay, yeah, yes. So you need to pay tribute to the past. You said you didn't like being in the past. You're contradicting yourself now, Screen Rant. And a multi-doctor story is an obvious way to do that. Yes, absolutely. So what is toxic or problematic about having David Tennant, but less problematic about having Matt Smith? I still can't get over that, how that's different. David Tennant being somehow more problematic than Matt Smith. I don't get that. Teaming up past doctors to secure the future universe. Yeah. How are these so many to see multiple doctor stories across comics? How many people read comics, audio plays? The majority of fans don't, and there's nothing wrong with that. But to say we've seen it a lot in comics, so we shouldn't do it, that's an insane take. That is an insane take. Especially if it was like everyone read the comics and everyone listened to the audio plays, you'd have a little bit of an argument, not a good one, but you'd have the basis for a small one. But the fact that people don't, you have nothing. Recently, that relying on past incarnations to entice viewers back to feel some retrograde. There's nothing wrong with that. People want to learn more about their favorite characters, and there's nothing wrong with that. Why is it somehow bad to enjoy what came before? That's the whole thing with Star Wars and the sequel trilogies. The sequel trilogy was burning down the original trilogy, and it's like, what? You like what came before while using the nostalgia to burn it down. It's kind of the same thing what the current iteration of Doctor Who has done. There was so much nostalgia in the sequel trilogy, but it was used to burn the canon down and make some twisted amalgamation of Star Wars going forward. It's the exact same thing that's happening to Doctor Who, and this take is just asinine. I'd rather stick to this tired format. The best celebration for Doctor Who 60th anniversary would be to relaunch the series with a brand new Doctor and a bold new version for the show from Russell T Davies. No, not necessarily. It's become a norm to have multi-Doctor specials. There's nothing wrong with that. It's just a fun way to bring fans in. There's nothing wrong. If the 60th anniversary has no previous Doctors in it, it will not get the show will not get back the viewers it needs to survive. The show is dying, dead to most people. And if you don't bring back Matt Smith, David Tennant, it's forever gone because people won't be coming to watch the 60th anniversary. So you're lobbying for the destruction of Doctor Who. Well, I mean, they were already doing that, supporting Chris Chibnall's run. So, yeah, just some insane takes from Screen Rants. They don't understand Doctor Who, and they're just, jumping on the bandwagon to attack people who disagree with their political narrative. But what do you all think about that? Do you think Matt Smith is somehow less problematic than David Tennant? I still don't get that. But anyway, that's all I have for today. I'd love to hear your thoughts in the comments below. Please like, share, and subscribe, and I will see you on the next video. Anon. If you like what I do here and want to see good, compelling stories that Hollywood will no longer give you, check out my book series, Odyssey of a Phoenix, a mythological epic about philosophy, morality, and modern-day mental illness issues. Books 1, Down in Flames, and Book 2, Apocalypse Then, currently on sale. Book 3, Kill the Dark, coming soon.